today the plan is to install these shocks. Didn't get a chance to the last time we did Caltrax just because I was struggling my life away, ripping out the one leaf spring for about 4 hours. I don't know what I'm doing, but we got it done. Caltrax are on. They look sick. They actually worked exceptionally well. I didn't expect to see that much of a difference that quickly, but man, it changed the car completely. So now I want to throw on these shocks, try and really get it to weight transfer, try and get the traction up on this car, because currently it's terrible. Better, but still bad. And these are just some stock KYB shocks that I put on when I first got the car. Nothing wrong with them, they're just not for drag racing. And these guys here will do 90-10, or yeah, 90-10. So it should work pretty good. Pretty simple shock install. Actually, one thing I wanted to explain from the Caltrax video is I took the rear seat out because my transmission cooler was blocking off that front spring eye bolt. I have one of those Doral transmission coolers underneath the car, but I can't see it too well. And that thing was blocking that front spring eye bolt, and that's why you saw me take the back seat out. Forgot that I never really explained that on the last video until I was editing it. So here I am now. Other than that, fixed a bunch of vacuum leaks in the car recently. Jetted it back down. Probably gonna jet it down some more here in a bit, just because it's starting to warm up and the air is not as dense anymore. Which, oddly enough, today is actually really cold here. So I've got the wheel off now, and I forgot that on this car, the shock actually mounts to the upper control arm. It's sort of a weird deal with the early Ford stuff, or mid-70s, late 60s Ford stuff. So this mount here for the spring bolts to the upper control arm, and then the shock runs down the middle of the spring and bolts to the actual mount. Kind of an odd deal, and I think that this has a bolt on each side if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, it does. It's just an odd thing that Ford did. I'm not a huge Ford guy, even though I own one. I honestly don't know much about early Ford suspension or even Mavericks in general, to be honest. I just wanted something that would be faster than what I had. So let's get to tearing that out. So these shocks are adjustable. And the 3 settings: regular, firm, extra firm, and for my car I'm setting it up at extra firm, which on the front shock equates to a 90-10. Comes with all the replacement hardware and bushings. To install it, you'll have extra bushings, so it's made for multiple cars. And these you set by putting them all the way down compressed and then turning them firmly, and you'll hear 3 clicks. The first strong click is regular, then it's a softer click for firm, and then the softest click is extra firm. And that's what these are set up at right now. And then you basically run the shock through its range a few times just to get the oil to move, because they've been sitting on a shelf flat and they're going to be living vertical for the rest of their life. So you just want to do that a few times till the fluid, you'll feel it kind of firm up and kind of get a little bit more consistent as you do it. So Pretty simple procedure there. All the extra firm does is it makes it easier for it to extend the shock, and then it makes it harder to compress it. That's what the 90-10 basically does on the extra firm setting. So it lets the weight come up and then stay up so that it transfers. I'm not a professional at this, but I get the basic idea. And in a car with low horsepower, you want it to transfer a lot, or if you have a really terrible surface, which this might see. So all you really need for this install is some 1/2-inch ratchets or 1/2-inch sockets on various size ratchets and a wrench, because your top 2 bolts are 1/2-inch, along with the bottom 2 holding it to the upper control arm. Those are 1/2-inch as well. One up here and one behind. It's kind of a pain in the neck to get to. Then you need a 9/16 socket to get the upper shock mount bolts off, to get the shock completely out. Alright, so shocks are in. Wasn't too bad. I've done this is now the 3rd time I've put shocks in this car. First I had some stock style KYB gas shocks, and now I've moved up to the Competition Engineering drag shocks 90-10s. The other thing I did was I decided to put a Mexico light in here. Brighten this up for you guys. Pretty simple install on that, just ground and powered straight into the reverse light. Just teed into that. And now, as you can see, got a little off-road light, but I'm beyond the road with it, so I guess I'm using it wrong. Anyway, when I click into reverse now, get the full effect. Alright, maybe I should click into reverse this time. There we go. Reverse light and a tire light. Works pretty good. They were like some cheap $12, $13 Amazon off-roading lights, a pair of them. I think I'm only going to use the one. Just a single stud to install it through the floor right there. It's LED, so it doesn't really put any extra load on the reverse light circuit. Just a nice simple install. That plus the shocks and now the Caltrax. We're moving up in the world of drag racing now. Next thing will be to make the slicks fit after rolling the fenders, and then later on down the line, probably a long time from now, put on the turbo. What are you sniffing over there? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's Jack. Alright. Well, I will see what else I get done, and I'll keep you guys updated.